Hello ladies and gentlemen, what is up? My name is Seatin and welcome to a first look at Devilian game. So I've been playing this game since last Thursday and there are 5 things that I'd like to talk about, mainly for a clickbaity title, that I love about this game. So to kind of preface this whole video, I've played a bit of Diablo and Path of Exile before, and they're action RPGs, and this is also an action RPG, but I've never really been able to get into them, just because I've played for a couple of hours, and I just haven't found anything that's gone, oh wow, this is like my game. Woo, I'm really into this, just because they're very slow paced, at least to me, to start out the game. And that leads me on to point number 1, which is combat is very exciting from the get-go. So initially, on the tutorial, you get waked up by this Aloria woman. I think I got the name right. I may have totally butchered it. I'm sorry, Aloria. You're the world to me. Thank you for bringing me into this Devilian game. Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I'm absolutely talking out of my ass at the moment. But yeah, you get into the game and there's an invasion going on of devils, and the abilities that you have from the start are really cool. So this, for example, is my Cannoneer. The first ability you get is this rapid fire cannon shot, which is single target. But then literally kill a few mobs and then boom, you've got this big AoE splash thing, which allows you to just pull big groups of people and absolutely demolish them. And then I believe, I'm not too sure if this is the correct order, but you get it pretty soon after. You can put down a minefield of bombs and then kite people through. And bear in mind, all these abilities are in the first couple of minutes of the game. And then you get, which one is it? It doesn't matter too much, but this time bomb. And then basically, it kind of racks up pretty fast. You can get to level 10 extremely quickly. I think, the first time I was playing, it took me about maybe 20-25 minutes to get to level 10. And then you can get this awesome, cannon blast thing that I've been showing off. And the abilities are all really cool and kind of synergize with each other quite nicely. This is the class that I'm playing at the moment, Cannoneer, absolutely loving it. It's just crazy amounts of fun. You can do huge pulls, you've got loads of stuff to disable and kite enemies through, you got bombs. Basically, this is just my my dream class. I am having crazy amounts of fun with it, and there are also 3 more classes available. There is there's a Shadow Hunter, which can throw out these massive glaives and whip people with chains and stuff. There's your Evoker, which is your kind of magey warlocky class. I think it's more of a mage than a warlock. I actually haven't played that yet. And then there's your Berserker, which is your traditional get straight in there, stick of it warrior, absolutely tearing stuff up, and that's quite fun to play. However, it became quite apparent when playing the Berserker that you need a lot of skill to actually play this game in melee, even at the lower levels, or you're just going to get absolutely owned. That's why, I'm playing it safe at the moment as a relatively new person to this genre, just playing the Cannoneer, kiting stuff around. So one of the very interesting things, which leads me on to point number 2, is that Devilian is a mixture of an action RPG and an MMO RPG. So it has a lot of elements that an MMO would have. Basically, it's got kind of a massive open world. Every zone has quests in that you venture. You have guilds. You have all of the social functions of an MMO. Dungeons, although I'm pretty sure they have stuff like that in Diablo. But yeah, basically it's got a really nice MMO feel to it. So anybody that's played something like Rift or World of Warcraft, you'll have upon playing this game, everything will seem kind of familiar. Nothing's totally out of the blue. But when I played something for example, Path of Exile, there are all these rune systems and stuff. I don't really know what I'm talking about here when I talk about Path of Exile, but it really confused me from the start of how you kind of progressed and advanced your character. But you've also got 3 different skill trees as well, and you can kind of mix and match the abilities from the skill trees to really create your perfect class. You can get whatever abilities you want, and then you can upgrade them and customize them. So yeah, that's pretty damn cool way of doing the classes. I'm very much enjoying it. Now, the third thing I want to talk about, which is probably one of my favorite things that I'm liking at the moment, is dungeons. Now, you can do all of the basic dungeons, I know for a fact, by yourself. So they have like all of a solo mode and also a kind of like group up. And there are also no tanks or healers in the game. Everybody is purely like DPS. And the way that you can kind of synergize with other classes is you can, you know, for example, like I have a knockdown on this, and then another class like I'm gonna say Berserker would deal like additional damage to targets that are knocked down. So you can nicely kind of weave in your abilities to kind of synergize classes in dungeons when you're doing it with multiple people. But for like leveling and stuff, I can just spam dungeons all I want. I can enter any dungeon remotely. I've got a nice list of them here and be in them within seconds. And one of the really cool things that I do like about dungeons is the reward system at the end. So there's like a bonus kind of like spinny wheel at the end. And for there are 3 factors that are based on the charges that you get to spin this wheel. So you have time to complete the dungeon, average time it took you to beat the bosses in the dungeon, and also the amount of times you died. So if you complete the dungeon really quickly, kill all the bosses really fast, and don't die at all, then you are going to get free spins of this wheel, which will give you all sorts of like crazy loot, like you get bonus XP, you get these dungeon skip tokens, which allow you to port into a dungeon and skip straight to the final boss and get the rewards there, which are hella overpowered. They are so cool. You get like devil souls, crafting materials. That's also one of the really cool things about the game. Every class has like a Devilian form, so you know, it's like your ultimate form. You press V, and then you get these new set of abilities which are really kind of overpowered and stuff, and you can just use it to like get out of a tight situation, or quickly, you know, zerg a boss through a phase that's quite problematic. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the store and kind of free-to-play model that they've got going on. Obviously, this is still an alpha, so not everything is finalized yet. But from what I can see, it's all pretty fair. You can't buy gear directly. Most of the stuff is cosmetic. There's a lot of stuff like bag slots, you know, skill extensions, additional character slots, more bank vaults, loads of appearance and mount stuff. So yeah, that's it's looking pretty cool. And also this stuff that I'm going to talk about, Talisman boxes, which I think are pretty much going to be the main moneymaker for trying on this game, because they are really, really cool and quite addicting. I've brought a lot of Talisman boxes on the alpha, just been playing around with those to see what they drop. Now, one of the things that I also think is quite fair with this, if I can actually find the window that I am looking for, it's got to be somewhere here, is basically I want to talk about the login rewards for the game. So every day that you log into the game, you are going to get a... Oh, it's got to be somewhere. Come on. There it is. Fantastic. So every day that you log into the game, you get 2 points and like a little stamp on your calendar. It's not showing my my stamps for October, only the 1st of November ones. And you can exchange those points for various rewards, so you can hoard them up and actually buy stuff that is available on the cash shop. So for example, if I actually don't want to buy, you know, spend money on the game to expand my inventory, I can just literally play the game every day, well, or occasionally, and get some points, and then eventually expand my inventory by, you know, exchanging those points for inventory expansion tickets. And there's loads of other cool stuff here, like you can buy like XP bonuses and gem talisman boxes, and other cool stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. There's also some consecutive login stuff, which seems pretty decent. Yeah, some really odd stuff there, because if you log in for 21 days, you get an appearance change coupon reward, which is something that I thought was a bit weird to have for a 21-day login, but it's nice that you can get additional cash shop items via the in-game means. And I know you can also do this like endless tower thing in the game to actually get credits, and it will give like the kind of like buy store currency for being really good at that. So that's pretty sweet as well. But anyway, the final thing that I want to talk about is talismans, something that I'm really, really liking about the game. So these little things are called talismans, and you kind of have like an equipment slot for them. And they're kind of like, what would I say, collectible cards that give you additional stuff and that you can equip. And you can also upgrade and combine them. So whenever you, whenever you get an item in Devilian, I'm struggling to explain this actually, but you have the option of breaking it down and getting something called magic dust. So I don't need this, for example. I salvage it and I get some magic dust. As you can see, I got 2 magic dust, which means that I now have 5 magic dust. I can now go on to crafting and craft a talisman box, which will contain 1 talisman that is completely random. So fantastic. I've crafted that. Let's find the box and open it. Where's my talisman box? There it is. Open, and basically it could contain like any talisman in the game. Those basic ones are just gonna normally contain like a common one that's like really, really bad. And what I can do is I can combine the talismans, so I can add the experience or the power of that talisman into like one of my existing talismans to kind of level it up. So you'll see if I combine this into this one, it will give it like 100 extra XP and increase like it by 5%. And when that reaches like 100%, that'll level up to level 6. So you need quite a few talismans to upgrade the really good ones. But the idea is that you want to keep on, like, you know, fighting stuff, breaking down the gear that you don't need, opening these talisman boxes until you get really good talismans, and then using all the crappy ones to feed into the good ones. And yeah, I just find that really cool for some reason. I did a terrible job of explaining it. But if you sign up to the closed alpha or beta, you guys can see firsthand, how the talisman system works, and it's a lot of fun, and that's why I think like that it's just gonna make so much money, just because like whatever you're doing, if you're doing a dungeon run and like nothing drops for you solo, you can just break down that gear, convert it all into talismans, and then just add that to your existing talismans, and yeah, you're still gonna like level up and get a bit of a power increase. So everything you do kind of has a bit of a point to it, and it's a lot of fun. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this kind of 5 things that I really like about Devilian. If you did enjoy the video, feel free to leave a like and a nice comment. Apart from that, have a absolutely fantastic day and take care.